I am, man?
Respectfully, I'm not going to answer any questions.
How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? Mind if I get your name and badge number?
Yeah, my name's Investigator Ryan Metter with the Illinois Secretary of State Police.
Yes, sir.
Are you a First Amendment auditor? Is that what you're doing?
I'm just a citizen exercising constitutional rights today.
Sure. So, as you know, there's a sign there that says notice recording or photography of any type is not allowed.
Okay.
Yep. So we can't have you videotaping inside the facility. And there's that. Today's case law favors state of Illinois has to not allow the recording or photography of any type in Secretary of State facilities. All inquiries should be directed to the Secretary of State Office of the General Counsel, 217-785-3094, and ask for Pamela.
Do you have any case law attached with this that you'd be willing to provide me, or?
Contact the General Counsel, and they'll be able to give it to you. So, do you have
Sure.
your ID on you?
No, I don't actually.
Okay. What's your name, partner?
Am I being detained right now?
I mean, unless the Secretary of State wants you trespass, that's why I'm trying to get your name.
Okay. What statute would that be trespassing under? State-supported land?
Well, you disregarded a sign that says recording of any type is not allowed, so you violated that sign.
So,
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a perfect example of what happens when police officers forget their oath and start enforcing feelings instead of the law. What you're about to see is a clear attempt to remove a citizen from a public space without any lawful authority. This man isn't causing a disturbance. He isn't interfering with anyone. He's simply exercising a constitutionally protected right. And instead of respecting that, officers immediately jump to intimidation, vague policies, and empty threats. Pay close attention, because this isn't about one building or one interaction. This is about a mindset where public officials believe they can override the Constitution with signage and policy. But as you'll see, this citizen is prepared, informed, and unafraid to stand his ground, even advising officers to call the very prosecutor who knows the law better than they do.
you are suspecting me of trespassing?
I'm saying if we want to trespass you, I would need your name. So
I am being trespassed?
As of right now, you're not being trespassed.
Okay. So as of right now, I'm not under suspicion of a crime.
Okay, here's the thing though. If you show back up and you cause issues, then we'll have your name.
Nobody even asked me to leave.
Okay, well, they're asking you to leave.
Okay. Or respectfully, I'm going to decline.
Okay. So now you are trespassing.
Okay.
So what is your name?
Would you mind, before we move any more forward, because I'm gonna do you a favor.
Yeah.
Okay, before anybody loses qualified immunity, look up the statute that you're willing to trespass me under and cite that. I promise you it.
Okay. Are you refusing to leave the property?
Will I be arrested if I don't leave?
You'll be cited. Yeah.
I'll be cited with what citing?
Criminal trespass to property. Actually, it's criminal trespass to state-supported property. Because you're refusing.
Look that statute up, and it will be in plain text why I am not in violation of that statute. I've just been through this. I'm doing you a favor, Metter, Officer Metter.
Yeah, you got the name right. Yep.
And
most people mispronounce it, so thank you.
well, you gave it to me first, and I appreciate that.
Right away, the tone of the encounter is set. The officers attempt to control the situation by asking questions they have no legal authority to demand answers to. When the citizen politely declines to answer, the officers immediately pivot to labels and assumptions. They ask if he's a First Amendment auditor, as if exercising rights somehow requires permission or justification. This is a common tactic. Frame lawful behavior as suspicious. Then comes the sign. The infamous sign that supposedly bans recording. But here's the problem. A sign does not override constitutional law. Policies are not statutes. And no officer can articulate an actual law being broken. Instead, they lean on vague references to case law without providing a single citation. This is where the power dynamic starts to crumble, because knowledge beats authority every single time.
Obviously, in the heat of the moment, that I'm not very confrontational at all. I'm not looking for a confrontation, but I'm not looking to have my rights stepped on.
I understand. I respect that. I respect your, I appreciate that and everything. And like I said, I'm just telling you that, that's why I gave you that piece of paper, okay? And here's the thing. I'm not looking at writing you a ticket.
Right.
I'm not wanting to go down that. I'm just wanting you to
Would I
respect your rights.
would
and stuff
so
like that, but
the
if they want you out
summons?
of the building,
Yeah, the summons for the ticket, would that go to the municipal court in Salem?
it would go to the Marion County Courthouse.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna do you one
Like I
last
said,
favor
I'm not
here.
telling you I'm trespassing you, but I would like your name for my case.
Yeah, and I understand how that goes, but no matter what, I'm not gonna give it. I'm gonna do one last favor for everybody here. Call Tim Hudspeth. You're gonna do yourself a very big favor with your career, and I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yeah.
I know it sounds very pretentious me saying that. Call Tim Hudspeth right now, and I promise you he will tell you I'm fine to do what I'm doing. That's the bottom line. He doesn't know me personally, but I just dealt with him personally. Call Tim Hudspeth. He's going to be the prosecutor. He's going to know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter who does it. If you're off shift, if any one of them guys in.
Now watch how the conversation shifts. The officers begin fishing for identification without reasonable suspicion of a crime. When asked directly if the man is being detained, they can't give a straight answer. Instead, they float the idea of trespassing without actually issuing a lawful order to leave. This is where it gets serious. Trespass on public property requires specific legal elements, and the citizen knows it. He calmly asks for the statute. He asks for clarification. And instead of responding with law, officers respond with confusion. One moment he's not trespassed. The next moment he supposedly is. This inconsistency exposes a lack of legal grounding behind their actions. And rather than escalate emotionally, the citizen does something powerful. He offers him a way out by urging him to verify the law before making a career-ending mistake.
Decide to come in here and record, we have the right to do it.
Here's the thing. I appreciate what you're doing. Okay, I'm not, like I said, I'm a full advocate for people using their rights. Okay?
Sure.
But with it being a Secretary of State, so they have their own policies, and as far as the General Counsel goes, also that's why we give you the number for the General Counsel. Is a lot of people have Social Security cards, birth certificates, other things out here that we don't want people recording. You know what I mean?
Well, they shouldn't be dealing with that in public, though. You know, if they're going to do,
they have to do that inside.
No, they can take them somewhere private. So 720. Let me see if I remember this right. 720 ILCS 521-5. That's criminal trespass to state-supported land, and I'm going to read it right from the ILA.gov.
They want you trespassing.
You mind if I get your name and badge number? I didn't get.
Detective Swagler.
Detective Swagler.
Yes, sir. 295 Salem Police Department.
295. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm gonna read you, and I know this will be my third time saying it, but this will be the last favor that I do everybody here. A5 under criminal trespass to state-supported land, right? A person commits criminal trespass to state-supported land when he or she enters upon a right-of-way, including facilities and improvements thereon. No, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong section here.
Different guy.
This is the moment where ego collides with reality. The citizen repeatedly advises officers to contact the state attorney, not as a threat, but as a safeguard. He's not trying to embarrass anyone. He's trying to prevent unlawful enforcement. But instead of taking that advice, officers double down. They hide behind policy and ignore the distinction between policy and law. The excuse shifts to protecting private information, even though the citizen is standing in a public area where the government chooses to conduct business. That's not how privacy works. The Constitution doesn't disappear because paperwork exists nearby. And again, the citizen demonstrates restraint, explaining the statute line by line, pointing out exactly why it does not apply. This is what accountability looks like in real time.
A person commits criminal trespass to state-supported land when he or she enters upon land supported in whole or in part with state funds or federal funds administered, granted through state agencies or any building on the land by presenting false documents or falsely representing his or her identity orally. I haven't done that, right? We'll skip to the part where this will apply, what it doesn't apply. Okay? If I refuse to leave, well, I'm going to go back inside.
And now he's stating he's going to go back inside.
Absolutely. I have the right to. I came out here on my own free will, not because I was being detained. Just do me a favor.
You're allowed to stay outside, but you can't record inside.
I'm allowed to be inside also.
Okay, he's arguing that he is.
remain upon the land or in the building, here's the important part, and who thereby interferes with another person's lawful use or enjoyment of the building or land. How does me exercising my First Amendment constitutionally protected right interfere with anybody's lawful use or enjoyment of this building? I promise you, I told these guys, call Tim Hudspeth. It's gonna save you guys from having to lose your qualified immunity over this. This is clearly established. The prosecutor...
As tensions rise, the officers begin stacking threats. Trespass, failure to identify, citations, escalation. But here's the catch. Every threat relies on a violation that never occurred. The citizen hasn't interfered with anyone's lawful use of the building. He hasn't misrepresented his identity. He hasn't refused a lawful order. Yet officers continue pushing forward, hoping compliance will replace legality. This is where most people fold. This is where fear wins. But not here. The citizen stands firm, reminding them that exercising a right cannot legally interfere with public use. He explains it clearly, calmly, and repeatedly, and still they refuse to listen. At this point, the problem isn't misunderstanding, it's willful ignorance.
of Salem of Marion County knows exactly what I'm doing, and he will tell you.
Here's the deal.
You do yourself a favor and speak with him.
I told you my first name. Can I at least get your first name so I'm not saying sir?
Respectfully, I'm not going to. You can just call me sir. I appreciate that.
Okay, sir, you're not allowed on the property. You're not allowed inside. Okay, you're trespassed. Okay, so you're not allowed.
By who?
The Illinois Secretary of State.
So you're
hereby trespassed.
So you're
And
not
now
going to
as-
call
as
Tim
As a
Hudspeth?
state officer, right now I'm trespassing you from the property. Whether or not you have a right to be somewhere, the people who have this property have a right to trespass you.
Well, it's public property.
Yeah, but we can trespass you from this property, okay, because it's state property.
So you're just going to not even do yourself the favor and call Tim Hudspeth?
I called my sergeant, that's all I need to call.
But the prosecuting attorney of this county, you're not willing to
Secretary of
count?
State policy dictates
Okay.
exactly what I gave you.
Well, respectfully, I'm trying to help you here, right?
And-
Because
and
I'm not.
respectfully,
You're
and-
misinformed.
And
I've already
sorry.
been through this in the area, in Marion County, with Tim Hudspeth.
I understand.
Okay. No, you don't understand, or you don't care.
I appreciate what you have to say.
I don't feel like you do, because you're trying to violate my rights, and you're not even willing to go through any single route to wreck.
Now we see the most dangerous part of the encounter, the misuse of detention. Officers claim authority, but can't articulate its source. They claim he's detained, but also say he's free to leave. They threaten arrest, then backpedal. This back and forth isn't accidental. It's confusion born from acting without legal footing. The citizen exposes this by asking simple, direct questions. Am I detained? What crime do you suspect? Under what authority? And each time, the answers fall apart. Instead of clarity, officers resort to intimidation. Instead of law, they rely on escalation. And yet, the citizen still offers them an exit. One phone call to prosecutor who already knows this exact situation. A phone call that could have ended everything immediately.
Rectify your mistake right now. So under the authority of who?
The Illinois Secretary of State Police.
Because it's going to come down on yourself personally and your department.
You have the number for our general counsel. For the Secretary
I don't
of
need
State.
counsel to exercise my constitutionally given rights.
Yeah, I understand that. So I'm
So
gonna
you
ask
just
to
don't
leave the
care
property,
then?
okay?
So you
And
just don't care?
Are you refusing to identify yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I need a fingerprint check.
Is your body camera on?
It is on. Everybody's.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. So, are you refusing to leave the property
Am I going to be arrested if I
Yes,
don't leave?
you are.
Under what authority?
under the authority of the Illinois Secretary of State Police?
So, because I've
The
never...
authority given to me by the state of Illinois.
Okay, so what exactly would happen?
Well, normally I would just write you a ticket and send you on your way for criminal trespass, okay?
But because I'm being so defiant, it's going to escalate.
What it is, it's failure to identify. So I have to write a name on that ticket.
So you suspect me of a crime.
I do.
So I've been detained this whole time.
Right now you are, because you're refusing to leave the property.
So if I leave, if I just walk away right now, then what?
then I'm going to let you walk away, because I don't want to write you a ticket. I don't want to take you to jail. If you
Okay.
stay on this property any longer, then I am going to have to put handcuffs on you and take you to the jail.
Well, I don't want that.
I don't want that either, because
At this point, the officers openly admit that the situation is escalating because the citizen won't identify himself. Not because a crime occurred, but because compliance is being refused. That alone should alarm anyone watching. Rights are not conditional. They are not rewards for obedience. The citizen calls it out plainly, stacking charges for exercising rights. And instead of addressing that reality, officers attempt to justify fingerprinting and detention as administrative necessities. This is where the Constitution is either upheld or ignored. The citizen refuses to waive his rights simply because it's convenient for enforcement. And that refusal exposes the weakness of the entire encounter. Because without consent, without compliance, and without a crime, there is no authority left to stand on.
It seems like you do.
no, I don't.
You're not even willing to go down an avenue that I've given you.
What time I get off work? 4 o'clock. 4:16.
Nobody's forcing you to violate my rights right now, sir.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
You don't even do yourself the favor of calling him, though. Like I'm
called my
obviously.
sergeant. That's all I need to call. And I provided you documentation from our legal counsel as far as a
Would either one of you be willing to call Tim Hudspeth?
This is Secretary of State property. Secretary of State is.
And I just read you the statute that he was trying
And I
to
just told you.
cite me with.
And I just told
so
you what I had to
nobody's
say.
willing to even save yourselves the qualified immunity.
From what I'm gathering, we're kind of in an impasse, right?
Well, yeah, because I'm exercising rights and you're violating rights. That's the
I'm sorry you
impasse.
feel that way. So right now, you are on state property, okay? So, and I am asking you to leave. If you fail to leave, then you will be charged for criminal trespass.
What is that? A book and release, or is it down to the jail? You hold me for the weekend,
Well, as
or
of
what?
right now, you're failing to identify.
Okay.
So if you
So we're
fail to-
stacking charges
yeah.
for exercising rights.
So if you fail to identify, then you're going to be taken in and fingerprinted so I can get your identity. So then I can write you the ticket, and then you can be released.
How does that work? You guys beat me into oblivion until I'm willing to, until you can forcefully. I mean, because so if
Why
I'm.
would you say beat you into oblivion? Why would you use terminology?
Finally, the stalemate reaches its breaking point. The citizen makes it clear. If officers choose to move forward, litigation will follow. Qualified immunity is not a shield for willful violations. And suddenly reality sets in. The officers step away. A phone call is made. And just like that, the truth emerges. The attorney confirms what the citizen has been saying the entire time. This is a public place, and he has every right to be there. No trespass, no detention, no violation. Just a lawful citizen surrounded by unlawful enforcement attempts. This single phone call collapses nearly 10 minutes of threats, posturing, and misinformation.
Because I'm not willing to identify, so I'm not going to be willing to fingerprint, right? So just because you put me in handcuffs and put me in a car and take me somewhere, I'm supposed to just be willing to
Well, the problem that we have
waive
here
my
is-
rights now?
is so criminal trespass is just a ticket. That's all it is.
Right.
But whenever you start failing to identify and stuff like that, what name are we going to put on the ticket if you're not willing to identify?
Well, it's not a ticket, though. It's not criminal trespass. I just read him the statute. He's not willing to listen. I will read you the statute if you want.
Because you're refusing. Because we gave you the opportunity to leave, and now you're not doing it.
I don't need. You should give me the opportunity to exercise my constitutional rights by recording in a public space, respectfully.
I understand what you're saying.
So you just don't care then? If you're not willing to do that, then I guess you deserve the litigation that's going to follow. That's just the bottom line. You're going to be stripped of your qualified immunity.
So like I said before, when you have questions,
State's Attorney, Tim Hudspeth. He advised me that's a public place. You can be in here. We cannot trespass.
Thank you.
So,
Swagler?
With that being
Detective
said-
Swagler?
Detective Swagler.
Appreciate it. It took long enough, but
Salem Police Department. We're
You're
going
out.
to be on our way.
yeah, you're not going to.
Once the truth is confirmed, the tone changes immediately. Officers retreat. Authority softens. The confrontation dissolves. And the citizen is allowed to resume exactly what he was doing before, standing peacefully in a public space. Think about that. Nothing changed except verification of the law. This entire ordeal was unnecessary. And that's the real takeaway. Rights weren't respected because they were obvious. They were respected because someone higher up forced accountability. That should concern everyone. Because without cameras, without knowledge, and without persistence, this situation would have ended very differently.
So,
Let me speak with you for just a minute.
you guys' body cam's not muted, right?
Body cam is on.
Not muted? Appreciate that, sir. Thank God. Appreciate it, sir. I'm going to come inside with you since I do have the right
You did say
to.
as long as you stay in the public area, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Don't
That's
go-
all I had been doing.
Okay.
Didn't bother anybody.
This is why knowing your rights matters. This is why recording matters. And this is why public accountability matters more than ever. It should never take a state attorney to remind officers to follow the Constitution. But until that changes, citizens must stay informed and stand firm. Support content like this. Share it. Talk about it. Because awareness is the first line of defense against abuse of power. If this video showed you anything, it's that rights only work when people are willing to assert them. Stay safe, stay informed, and always record.